Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to Grade B. So in this particular lecture of rural banking, we'll be talking about the schemes or the policies which are there for the soil and water conservation, right? Post, we will be completing this soil and water conservation related policies. We will be shifting to the policies for the development of backward areas. So these are nowadays you will see that our previous two classes and as well as this particular class is totally talking about the policies. So there is a specific segment of rural development policies where the topic says that we have to talk about all the water conservation related policies, as well as we also have to talk about any policy for the development of backward areas that has been done by the government, right? So I hope you understand that why I have picked up all the government schemes related to it. First of all, we need to cover that, and if any other further initiative comes in, then that will also be covered into your current affairs related segment. ठीक है? तो अभी हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. And in this particular soil and water conservation related schemes that your syllabus mentions in the rural banking subject, the first and foremost is your Jal Jeevan Mission, right? So this particular what you can say notes format is into a summary format, right? So we will be focusing on to the topics which are or the points which are really important and that you need to remember. So हम उसी चीज पे focus करेंगे. Let's talk about it. So at the time of launch, out of 17.87 crores rural households in the country, about 14.6 crore, which accounts for 81.67%, they yet to have household water tap connections, right? So if any one of you, if you belong from a rural hinterland, you would have faced it, right? आपने इसको face किया होगा. पहले tap water connections नहीं थे और मतलब इतनी facilities नहीं थी, but now in every village, right, wherever you can see. So I myself belong to, I also know two villages from where I belong, right? From one is from maternal side and one is from the paternal side, right? So in both of those villages, now the tap water connection is there, and all thanks to Jal Jeevan Mission. So it has been launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the year 2019. What is the aim of this particular mission is to supply water 55 liters per capita per day and to provide functional household tap connection to every rural households by 2024. That is the component. ठीक है, कई बार many of the times scheme related components they also get asked, right? For example, हर घर नल से जल. Now this is the component of Jal Jeevan Mission and you need to remember it. Now next thing, total project cost is around 3.6 lakh crores. Central share is going to be 2.08 lakh crores. Now the fund sharing, it moves like this. Fund sharing pattern is going to be 90:10 for the Himalayan as well as northeastern states, 50:50 for the other states, and 100% obviously for the UTs. Objectives, obviously functional tap water connection to every rural household. This is the first and foremost thing. Prioritize provision of functional house tap water connection in quality affected area, villages in drought prone areas, Sansad Adarsh Gram villages, etc. Provide functional tap water connection to schools, Anganwadi centers, Gram Panchayat buildings, health centers, wellness centers and the community buildings. So ये सारा भी जो है आपके objectives में आता है, especially schools, Anganwadi centers, Gram Panchayat buildings, community buildings, etc. etc. Right? Moving ahead and talking about the components that are there under the Jal Jeevan Mission. Let us see this. See, कई बार ऐसा होता है that yes, in components we know that okay, tap water connection is the foremost objective of this particular mission. बट उसके अलावा भी तो 10 काम हैं इस मिशन के, इसके अलावा भी तो ये और भी जगह फोकस कर रहा है, तो हमें उन चीजों के बारे में भी ध्यान देना है, right? So components under this particular mission, number 1, development of in village piped water supply infrastructure. ठीक है, ये तो connected ही है and we can understand about it. Technological interventions for the removal of contaminants wherever the water quality is bad. Retrofitting of completed and ongoing schemes to provide the functional house tap water connection at a minimum service level of 55 LPCD. Then grey water management. This is also one of the components. so that LPCD was for the liters, right, and it is measuring the quantum of water required per capita. Right, bottom up approach, village water and sanitation communities are there. Minimum 50% members of this village water and sanitation community, they needs to be women. So yes, gender component has also been taken into consideration over here कि ठीक है हम पानी समितिज बनाएंगे. Hindi, if we take it as, they are also called as pani samitis, water and sanitation committee, and out of it we have what you can say, we have taken the pledge कि ठीक है 50% जो है इसमें women होनी चाहिए. Water quality monitoring and the surveillance activities, so 5 women in each village, they are going to be trained to test the water samples. Now moving ahead and talking about use of technology, so hydrogeomorphological maps would be there for planning single village schemes. Jal Jeevan Mission app would be there, where we will be improving awareness among the stakeholders. Now this is the implementation infrastructure. This is not really important, ठीक है. Implementation related वाला part आप लोगों के लिए ज़्यादा ज़रूरी नहीं है. What is important for you is the basic features of schemes. इसके अलावा what are the components of the scheme, right? So these are the few things that you need to take care about. Moving ahead and talking about few of the key points, that is public finance management system. They should be used for tracking the funds. Now it is a finance ministry related system where all the funds which have been released towards the different government schemes, they are tracked. Obviously it is necessary for what you can say removing the corruption as well as improving the efficiency of the work being done. So इन सभी चीजों के लिए ये जरूरी है. To bring in the sense of ownership and pride among the rural communities, 5% capital cost contribution for the in-village water supply infrastructure in hilly forested and more than 50% in SC/ST dominated population and 10% in the revealing villages is proposed. Now this is some current data which we will see just once. So 4 states, Goa, Telangana, Gujarat, Haryana and 3 UTs, every rural households has the provision of tap water supply. Goa has become the first Har Ghar Nal Se Jal certified state. So this is again a very important statement which you need to remember. Andaman and Nicobar is the first Swachh Sujal Pradesh in India in September 22. Now next scheme that we have is Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Now all of these schemes, they are taken as what you can say a very staple scheme for rural development, right? So we cannot talk about any syllabus where we are discussing rural development policies and we will not discuss these kind of schemes. That would be a total waste. ठीक है, तो इनको discuss करना, these are very primary, these are very very important, and let's just talk about it. Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. So there were different kinds of phases of it, right? First one, the phase 1 was launched in the October 2014 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Target was all villages, states and UTs in India. They declared themselves open defecation free by 2nd October 2019. Implementation of Swachh Bharat Mission. So anybody who volunteered for the Swachh Bharat Mission, they were also called as Swachhagrahis. The government made a provision of 12,000 rupees per toilet as the financial assistance, right? So 12,000 rupees they are being granted as of now as well for development or for the construction of toilet for the people who require it. Now this is all about target, so this is not something we need to focus on. We need to focus on mission phase 2 and we have to see that what we are aiming to do in the phase 2. Phase 2 में हमारे targets क्या क्या हैं, phase 2 में हम क्या achieve करना चाहते हैं, and what have been the progress so far. So these are the things that you need to cover. Launched in the year 2020. Now, what was the objective? To sustain the ODF status and maintain solid and liquid waste by 2024 and 25, transforming all the villages from ODF to ODF plus and to cover all the villages with solid and liquid waste management. Period is going to be from 2020 to 2024, right? Outlay 1,40,881 crores, and 15 Finance Commission has also given the grants for the year up to 2025. These grants have been given to rural local bodies because obviously at the end of the day, these are the grassroots agencies which are implementing the scheme on ground. है ना? Now, how is the funding pattern? Let us look at that as well. So, center and states, they will be 90:10 for the northeastern as well as the Himalayan states, 60:40 for the other states, and 100% obviously for the UTs. So, this is going to be the fixed structure. Now, this is the classification which is very very important. तो हम ये classification भी देखेंगे. Right? See, there are terms and you need to know that what is the difference between these terms, है ना? So that is why in this particular scheme there are 3 different kinds of terminologies which will be used, and you have to understand that what is the difference between all of these 3. So let's discuss it. First of all, we have the ODF plus, then ODF plus aspiring, ODF plus rising, right? Moving forward with ODF plus model. So these are the what you can say systems that we are having. First of all, what is the aspiring category? In the aspiring category, functional toilet should be there, right? Every school and Anganwadi, all schools and Anganwadi centers as well as the Panchayat Ghars, they should have separate toilet for the male and female. Village has arrangement for the solid and waste management. So wherever plus is there, right? जहाँ पे भी plus आ जाता है, plus thing depicts that you should be having solid waste management, solid and liquid waste management. Yes, you have constructed toilet, really good. But now, once you have become ODF free, the next step that you have to take, the plus stage, talks about waste management. ठीक है, जो भी आपका liquid waste management है or whatever is there, you have to, what you can say, install that, and that is when you are going to get the category of ODF plus. So basically aspiring stages, if you have these 3, you will be considered as an aspiring stage. Next is what about rising? So a village that has obviously a functional toilet facility, already seen that. School, Anganwadi centers, they should have separate toilet for male and female, ये हम देख चुके हैं. Village should have arrangement for the solid waste management and for liquid waste management. Now you would ask, what is the difference? So in the aspiring category, either solid or liquid, right? If the village is having either solid or liquid, then they would be considered as aspiring. But when they have both of these facilities, they have solid waste management as well, they have liquid waste management as well, तो हम उसको क्या बोलेंगे? We will call them as the rising. ठीक है? Next we have the ODF plus model. Model का मतलब the best, right? What is this particular category? So over here, all the first 4 we already know. First 4 में क्या है? Yes, every household should be having a functional toilet. All schools, Anganwadi centers, Panchayat Ghars, they should have separate toilets for male and female. All public places, they should have minimum litter, as well as the plastic waste dump in the public places should be prohibited, right? Village should have solid waste management, village should have liquid waste management, and the villages should prominently display ODF plus IEC information and communication messages through wall paintings and the billboards, right? So you have to, what you can say, if you have visited any village in your nearby area, you would have seen that all the government related buildings as well as the other community buildings, they have this kind of painting where they are depicting that, okay, either they will be having some education related message or they will be having some ODF related messages. So if the village is also displaying such kind of messages through wall paintings, etc., then that would be called as a model village, right? Or a ODF plus model. Now let us see the components. ठीक है, इस जो हमारा मिशन है स्वच्छ भारत मिशन ग्रामीण, इसके components क्या क्या हैं, and what are the things that we know that okay, स्वच्छ भारत मिशन, yes, there should be toilet, everyone knows about it, but what are the different components of it? क्या और बहुत सारी चीजों को ये जो टारगेट कर रहा है, वो बहुत सारी चीजें क्या हैं? So number 1, we have the plastic waste management that supports gram panchayat to create awareness on curbing the use of single-use plastic, right? So plastic waste management is a component. Then we have biodegradable solid waste management, including animal waste management, etc. So there has been a lot of schemes that the government has launched, and one such scheme is going to be Gobardhan scheme, right? Where government is trying that we should be able to manage the biodegradable waste which is there in the village setup. तो किस तरीके से हम उसको यूज करके उससे गैसेस बना सकते हैं, बायोगैस बना सकते हैं, एंड व्हाट नॉट, राइट, पुटिंग इट टू अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ यूजेस. सो दैट इज द इनिशिएटिव. See, that's what I was talking about over here. Biodegradable waste like the cattle dung, kitchen waste, poultry droppings, pig excreta, crop residue, etc. They can be converted to organic manure and the biogas through aerobic and anaerobic digestion. Minimum 10 Gobardhan projects per block to be taken up. So यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? They are providing the infrastructure so that this kind of kitchen waste, poultry waste, right, agriculture related waste, and these kind of things, they can be converted into organic manure. At the same time, organic manure ke saath saath we get something also called as biogas, right? So this is a win-win situation. You get rid of waste, and at the end of the day you are getting useful products as well, which you can use for the further production, hai na? Next we have the grey water management. So grey water is the wastewater which is generated because of various domestic uses of water. Villages which are less than 5,000 population, they should plan for the community level soak pits based on terrain, groundwater level and the density of population. Villages with more than 5,000 population, they should plan for a conveyance system like underground small bore sewers, closed drainages and the treatment systems. Next we have the fecal sludge management. Right, so fecal sludge management, in situ treatment. SBMG promotes twin pits toilets to ensure in situ treatments with no mechanized emptying. Existing treatment plants, peri-urban areas or the villages in proximity to urban areas, as well as the new FSTP, they may be adopted for a cluster of villages. So here what we are doing is we are managing the fecal sludge, and we are taking not just the village in concern, but the nearby areas as well. We want to connect the infrastructure together so that in future problems would not occur, right? So here what they want to do, they want to manage this together in accordance with the infrastructure that is there in the peri-urban areas as well. Also, revolving fund of 5% of the project cost, that may be up to 1.5 crores. Now few other things that we need to see over here. So such iconic places, over here we are focusing that on our heritage areas, such kind of litter should not be there. Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin 2023, so a self-assessment module is proposed to ensure the participation at Gram Panchayat level. Here 2.5 lakh Gram Panchayats, they will be reached out through the participation in the Swachh Sarvekshan Gramin. Retrofit to twin pit abhiyan, Swachh Sujal Shakti Samman, Sujalam 2.0 campaign, right? Campaign for the grey water management. These are all the things. Moving ahead and talking about the next thing that we have in hand called as the Gobardhan. Now this is something which stands at the crossroads of your agriculture, soil and water management, right? Soil and water related schemes and agriculture के बीच में आपकी ये scheme पड़ती है. So it is a part of biodegradable waste management component under the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin, was launched in April 2018, right? Implementation, just wait for a second. Yes, implementation through Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, Gram Panchayat, they are going to identify the potential beneficiaries for the households where these kind of Gobardhan plants can be constructed. Now there are different kinds of models under it. An individual household, they can be adopted by the household which have at least 3 or more cattle. Biogas plants can also be constructed for a minimum number of households, that is 5 to 10. Now this is a community based model. Commercial plants, compressed biogas plants, they can be set up by the entrepreneurs, gaushalas, etc. Funding source for all the four models: 15 Finance Commission, corporate social responsibility. From here, the funding would be received. Swachh Bharat Mission, it is going to provide the funding, and then there are other sources as well. 50 lakhs per district would be provided, right? So only this much that you need to remember over here. Now, for the other thing, that is Atal Bhujal Yojana, again a water conservation or the water related scheme that we'll see, and it also includes the soil related part as well. So Atal Bhujal Yojana has been launched in the year 2019, right? The duration was for the 5 years, that is starting with year 2020 till the year 2024. Now what is the total outlay? So it is a central sector scheme with a cap of 6,000 crores. ठीक है, 6,000 करोड़ के कैप के साथ में 50% has been provided in the form of World Bank loan, right? So this has been provided in form of World Bank loan, and it is very, very significant. Next is, and it will be repaid by the central government. Now, next thing, see, to improve the groundwater management through community participation in identified priority areas in the 7 states, that is Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, MP, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and UP. It benefits nearly 8,350 gram panchayats. Now what are the what you can say program exclusions? It does not talk about major dams, it does not talk about industrial waste collection. So these are the exclusion, these are the things where it is not focusing. ठीक है, यहाँ ये focus नहीं कर रहा है. So these are the scheme exclusions. And yes, the Gram Panchayat is going to play a key role in the implementation of this particular scheme. Here, what we are addressing is in the Atal Yojana that we are seeing groundwater related water conservation. ठीक है, there are some districts in our country which are severely water stressed and they do not have much of the groundwater left over there, and they come in the red area where the water level is seriously stressed. So for the conservation of it, and this particular scheme is being implemented in the central part of our country. Now next thing is that we have National Mission for Clean Ganga. So what are the aims and objectives? Effective abatement of pollution, maintaining ecological flows in the river Ganga, right? Ensuring Aviral Dhara. It envisages 5-tier structure that is there. National Ganga Council is there. Empowered Task Force is there. National Mission for Clean Ganga, State Ganga Committees as well as the District Ganga Committee is there. So these are the 5-tier structure through which this particular scheme is being managed. Now what about the management related part? So let us see this. We will see this particular component of it. This is an important component, right? Yes. So Namami Ganga program, it was launched in the year 2014 and it is the part of NMCG, that means National Mission for Cleaning Ganga. Now outlay has been 20,000 crore for the next 5 years, right? Integrated river basin management approach has been taken up. Now what are the aims under this particular Namami Ganga program? Number one, obviously pollution abatement, improving ecology and the flow of the river. Then strengthening the river connect, facilitating diversified research, scientific mapping, studies and the evidence-based policy formulation. That means more and more study. For example, one of the study that was एक study जो है वो conduct की गई थी गंगा से related for the a presence of heavy metal items over there in the river Ganga, right? So such kind of studies, when they are done over the river, it what you can say leads you to the analysis that okay, we have to install more and more plants which can filter out the contamination that goes on in the river Ganga. You can make the rules and policies for what could be dumped in the river, what could not be dumped in the river, right? So there are a lot of things. Next is Earth Ganga, that means boosting economy and livelihoods. You will see Banaras or the Varanasi is the best example for it. How they have transformed, river is going through the town of Banaras, Varanasi, and there has been so much of development, and now it has become a tourist hub, right? Tourist hub ho gaya hai wo. So this is how they are planning, that how we can envisage a life around the river. So these are the things. Now next is Pradhanmantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So Har Khet Ko Pani is the component of it. Two major components are there. Through the Department of Water Resources. Number one component is Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program, number one. And then Har Khet Ko Pani. In Har Khet Ko Pani, there are again sub-components, for example, Command Area Development, Surface Minor Irrigation, Repair, Renovation and Restoration of the water bodies. Now, what is the vision? So, vision is to ensure the access to some means of protective irrigation to all agricultural farms. That means we want to produce more crop, but at the end of the day, we want to have water efficiency, right? So these are the objectives. Now next is enhance the physical access of water on the farm, expand cultivable area, that is Har Khet Ko Pani, integration of water source, distribution and its efficient use to make best use of water, enhance the adoption of precision irrigation, that is per crop more per drop more crop. So over here, what are these kind of precision irrigation? For example, your sprinkler irrigation, or what you can say your drip irrigation, right? There is also a more precise format, for example, your what you can say root related irrigation. So there are so many things. Also, they are also called as the minor irrigation techniques. Now fund allocation duration is going to be from the year 2021 till 2026. Outlay is 93,000 crores, right? There is two-tier structure over here. So Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, it has two-tier structure at a central level, that is a national steering committee followed by a national executive committee. Program components we have already seen. This is an important part of it, right? You have to remember this. Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program number 1, Har Khet Ko Pani number 2, and watershed development components have been approved. Now let us talk about these components as well. So Accelerated Irrigation Benefit Program, central government has launched this in the year 1996. Now you will ask that how this have been integrated in the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So the existing schemes which are going on, they have been merged, and that is how Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has been brought into existence. Target is obviously 13.88 lakh hectares. Aim is to provide central assistance to major and medium irrigation projects in the country. Now, how's the funding is going to happen? So, 8 northeastern states, 2 Himalayan states, and the UTs of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, 90:10. It is what the central component, right? For the other category states, 60:40 is there, and the projects in general category benefiting area other than these states, so 25:75. Now let's see the measures that has been taken under this AIBP accelerated irrigation. So new major and medium irrigation projects have been included, right? GIS information based applications, they have been developed for so that you can geotag the project, what you have done on road, so that you can check it online as well by the use of technology, that is geotagging. We all know, we all use it on a daily basis, right? So this is also something that you need to remember. Remote sensing techniques, they also have been used for the digitization of canal network. Basically, आप जो भी काम कर रहे हैं, whatever kind of work you are doing, that should be having a digital footprint as well as a locational footprint. ठीक है, आपको उसकी location भी पता होनी चाहिए, digitally where that thing is lying, that should also be known to you. Cropped area estimation in the command of 99 priority projects is being carried out annually. Next is Har Khet Ko Pani. So it is one of the components of Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. Scheme is extended till the year 2021-26. Implementation, this particular component, wait for a second, yes, this particular component is being implemented by the states through the department that implements AIBP. Now it is having a groundwater scheme as well. It provides the financial assistance to the state for the assured groundwater irrigation to small and marginal farmers, right? Then we have next component that is called as per drop more crop. It is again an integral part of your Pradhanmantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, right? It focuses on enhancing water use efficiency at farm level through micro irrigation like drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. Also supports micro level water storage, water conservation activities as well. See, when you'll have a micro level of storage, then only you can think of providing irrigation as well. ठीक है, उसी के बाद में आप irrigation के बारे में भी सोच सकते हैं. So per drop more crop focuses on efficiency and focuses on newer kind of technologies like your drip irrigation, right, as well as sprinkler irrigation. Now let's talk about objectives of it. So it increases the area under micro irrigation technologies to enhance the water use efficiencies. It increases productivity of crop. It makes potential use of micro irrigation system, right? It links tube well, river lift irrigation projects with micro irrigation technology so that there could be a best use of energy both for lifting as well as the irrigation. What you have to remember is these particular highlights, that yes, micro irrigation along with linking it with the river lift irrigation, this is something that we are targeting over here, right? Next is, it is implemented by Department of Agriculture. Next is, what is the pattern of assistance and funding pattern? So yes, 55% assistance for the small marginal farmers and 45% for the other farmers. Under the per drop more crop component, the subsidy amount payable to the beneficiaries would be shared in the ratio of 60-40 between the central and state government. In case of union territories, the scheme will be funded 100% by the central government. And the last component that we have is called as watershed development by the Department of Land Resources. So watershed means hota hai from where the, what you can say, see, sometimes we know that there is a origin of river from where the river flows, right? So that origin is, and if there is origin of any major or minor river, that are called as watershed as well as the rivershed, be depending on river basin or depending on what is the size of the river, right? So over here what we are doing is watershed development focuses on effective management of the water runoff, okay, and improved soil conservation activities. For example, bridges are created, rainwater harvesting is being what you can say focused over here, in situ soil moisture conservation and other watershed bases they are also focused on. Now next is support for the irrigation modernization program. So for this particular thing, this is a new initiative taken up by the Department of Water Resources with the technical assistance from the Asian Development Bank. Please remember, wherever there is an international assistance for any particular scheme component, that becomes very very important for you, because आपको याद रखना है कि ठीक है इस scheme के लिए this particular institution is providing the assistance, right? Purpose is to modernize major and medium irrigation projects in the country. Objective is to improve water use efficiency, increase the crop water productivity and ultimately increase farmers' income in the command area, right? Then lastly, we have a national hydrology project. It is again a World Bank supported central sector scheme. Outlay is there and the World Bank assistance is also there. The timeline was for 8 years, that is up to the year 2023. What we are doing, again the implementing agency, you know, Department of Water Resources. Type is central sector scheme, implementing agencies are 48. And then finally we have Jal Jeevan Sarvekshan. So it was launched by the Vice President of India in the year 2022, right? What we are doing, we are just, this is a kind of questionnaire or this is a kind of survey where we are asking about the coverage. So categorization, household tap water connection is less than 50, between 50 to 75 and more than 75%. So these were your water conservation related policies that have been installed in the village setup so that the protection can happen. And it also includes soil related component as well as the water related component. This is it for today. Thank you so much for joining in. This has been a what you can say short lecture, so I hope you will be able to understand, and if you did, then please do not forget to like this video. Thank you so much and good night.